Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. A new era in space biology has begun aboard China's Tiangong space station. 4 small mice, 2 males and 2 females, have become the nation's first mammalian astronauts sent into orbit on the Shenzhou 21 spacecraft. This isn't just a publicity stunt. It's a landmark experiment designed to unlock critical secrets about how the body functions in microgravity, paving the way for long-duration human missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. These tiny pioneers, selected from over 300 candidates after a grueling 60-day training regimen, are at the heart of an intensive study observing their behavior, physiology, and stress responses in low Earth orbit. Their journey is a pivotal chapter in our quest to ensure human health as we venture further into the final frontier. The fundamental question has always been, how does a body built for Earth cope with space? Mammals, with their complex biology, are our best analogs, and mice in particular are invaluable. They share an astonishing 95% of their genes with humans, making them excellent proxies for studying a vast range of biological processes. Their small size, short reproductive cycles, and the ease of genetic modification make them ideal for in-orbit research. By studying these Murine astronauts, scientists can observe an accelerated version of conditions that mimic aging and disease on Earth, offering a unique platform for biomedical discovery. The mission's primary goals are to examine how microgravity and the enclosed environment affect the mice's behavior and stress levels. Upon their return, their tissues and organs will be extensively analyzed to understand these adaptations at a molecular level. This data is crucial for developing countermeasures to protect future human explorers, a key step for China's goal of a crewed lunar landing by 2030. China's experiment builds on a long and fascinating history of sending life into the cosmos, a practice that began even before humans left the planet. The very first were fruit flies, launched by the United States on a V-2 rocket in 1947 to study radiation. This was followed by a veritable menagerie of moths, monkeys, and mice. The first primate in space was a rhesus monkey named Albert II in 1949, though he tragically died on impact. In 1951, the Soviet Union successfully launched and recovered 2 dogs, Saigon and Desik, from a suborbital flight, proving that living beings could survive the journey. The space race heated up this practice. In 1957, the Soviet dog Laika became the first animal to orbit the Earth aboard Sputnik 2. Her one-way mission captivated the world and sparked important ethical debates. A few years later, in 1960, the dogs Belka and Strelka successfully orbited the planet and returned safely. Rodents have their own storied history in space. In 1972, during the Apollo 17 mission, 5 mice, nicknamed Phi, Phi, Pho, Phum, and Fui, orbited the Moon 75 times. The Soviet Union's Bion program, starting in the 70s, flew numerous missions with rats, providing a wealth of data. A notable 2013 mission, a collaboration with NASA, sent mice on a 30-day orbital journey. Despite an equipment failure, the surviving mice provided crucial data showing how microgravity weakens the immune system, specifically by reducing B lymphocytes, the white blood cells that produce antibodies. More recently, NASA's rodent research program on the International Space Station, or ISS, has systemized these studies. Since 2014, missions like Rodent Research 1 validated the hardware, Rodent Research 3 tested a drug against muscle wasting, and Rodent Research 5 tested a therapy to not just prevent, but rebuild bone. This vast body of international research laid the groundwork for the questions China is asking today aboard Tiangong. So what exactly happens to a mammal in space? The absence of gravity triggers a complex cascade of changes. The most well-known are bone loss and muscle atrophy. On Earth, the simple act of standing and walking puts mechanical stress on our bodies, signaling them to maintain strong bones and muscles. In space, that signal disappears. Astronauts can lose bone density in weight-bearing bones at a rate of 1 to 2% per month. It's like an accelerated form of osteoporosis. Mouse studies have shown us why. Microgravity seems to inhibit the cells that build new bone, called osteoblasts. Key genes responsible for bone formation are altered. At the same time, the cells that break down bone, osteoclasts, become more active. The result is a dangerous imbalance that weakens the skeleton. Muscles suffer a similar fate, especially the anti-gravity muscles in our legs and back. They begin to waste away. This is driven by changes in gene expression. For example, microgravity increases the expression of a protein called myostatin, which actively stops muscle growth. It also impairs the muscle's ability to repair itself. By analyzing data from space-flown mice, scientists have even identified specific proteins that can predict changes in muscle function. The cardiovascular system also goes through a major adjustment. On Earth, your heart works hard against gravity to pump blood up to your brain. In space, without that pull, bodily fluids shift from the legs to the chest and head. This is what causes the puffy face and bird legs often seen in astronauts. Initially, this fluid shift tricks the body into thinking it has too much fluid, so it reduces blood plasma and red blood cell production. Over time, the heart itself, with less work to do, can shrink slightly and remodel. Studies on mice in simulated microgravity have shown this can lead to a higher risk of irregular heartbeats or cardiac arrhythmias. This is linked to abnormal calcium handling inside heart muscle cells, which can cause calcium to leak and disrupt the heart's rhythm. Then there's the immune system, our body's defense force. Spaceflight seems to throw it into a state of confusion. Some immune functions become suppressed, while others become hyperactivated. Experiments on mice flown on the space shuttle showed a reduction in the size of the spleen and thymus, both vital immune organs. The number of key immune cells like lymphocytes and macrophages also dropped. This suppression could make astronauts more vulnerable to infections on long missions. Some studies even suggest that spaceflight causes premature aging of the immune system. For humanity to truly become a multiplanetary species, we must understand if we can reproduce in space. This research is in its infancy, but rodent models are providing the first clues. A landmark study took male mice that had spent 35 days on the ISS. Upon their return, they were able to successfully sire healthy offspring through in vitro fertilization. While their sperm motility was slightly impacted, their overall reproductive capability remained intact after a short mission. Many questions remain, especially regarding female reproduction and embryonic development. However, a groundbreaking 2023 study on the ISS showed for the first time that mouse embryos could successfully develop to the blastocyst stage in space. It's a promising sign, but the full cycle, from conception to birth and raising offspring in microgravity, is still a complete unknown. Of course, none of this research is possible without a place for the mice to live. Building a rodent habitat for space is a serious engineering challenge. It's not just a cage, it's a fully integrated life support system. NASA's Rodent Research Hardware System on the ISS is a great example. It has 3 parts: a transporter to get them to the station, an animal access unit to safely transfer them, and the habitat itself. The habitat can house up to 10 mice and provides food, water, and waste management. It has grids on the walls so the mice can grip and move around. A sophisticated life support system circulates air, maintains a slight negative pressure to pull waste into a filter, and controls odors. Video cameras and sensors allow scientists on the ground to monitor everything. China has developed its own highly advanced habitat for the Tiangong station. It features a clever automated waste management system that uses directional airflow to blow feces into a collection module, which is crucial for maintaining hygiene in microgravity. It also provides lighting to simulate a day-night cycle and uses special food blocks that don't create crumbs. This mouse experiment isn't China's first time sending animals to space. but it is the most complex. Previously, Tiangong hosted an experiment with zebrafish and an aquatic plant, creating China's first in-orbit aquatic ecosystem. Taikonauts observed the fish exhibiting strange swimming patterns, like swimming upside down, providing data on how vertebrates orient themselves without gravity. China has also sent fruit flies and has a long-running program of sending plant seeds to space to induce mutations, which has resulted in hundreds of new crop varieties. The progression from plants and fish to mammals shows a clear, methodical advancement in China's space life science capabilities. The data gathered from these 4 marine trailblazers will be instrumental for China's ambitious space agenda. The nation plans to become a world leader in space science by 2050, and life science is a top priority. The Tiangong station is slated to host over 1,000 experiments in the next decade, many focused on supporting long-term human habitation in space. By decoding how mammals respond to microgravity, scientists can develop better exercise regimens, nutritional supplements, and even drugs to keep astronauts healthy on their way to the Moon and Mars. And the benefits aren't just for space. Studying accelerated bone loss in orbit provides new insights for treating osteoporosis here on Earth. Understanding muscle atrophy in astronauts could lead to therapies for age-related muscle loss or for patients who are bedridden. Space acts as a magnifying glass, accelerating biological processes in ways that can teach us about health and disease for everyone. As the taikonauts on Tiangong monitor their 4-legged crewmates, they are laying the groundwork for humanity's next giant leap. These tiny mice, floating in their orbital home, carry the weight of great scientific expectation and the promise of a future where we can safely live and work among the stars.